This one's a secret. Today we got a Devil Dino deck that no one's talking about and no one's playing, but it's insanely strong. If you want to skyrocket up the rank ladder and have a ton of fun while doing it, hang around. Let's go. Hey, Milky here, back again with another video for MarvelSNAP. Today we have an absolute sleeper pick. The crazy thing is no one's talking about this deck. No one's playing this deck, but it is insanely strong. It's the Dino Destroy deck, and I think it's coming back with a vengeance. Bit of context first. Way back in the early stages of beta, this used to be one of the strongest decks, but changes and nerfs to cards actually dropped that a little bit. But I think this deck is coming back in a huge way. The super strong and interesting thing about this deck, which makes it incredibly fun to play as well, is that it runs two different styles of deck in the one. First up, and what the deck is really structured around, is the hand size deck with key cards like Moon Girl, Collector, and Devil Dino. The other part is we have this incredible Destroy package in the deck that works together like a little unit. In that package, we have 5 cards. We have Nova, Carnage, Bucky Barnes, Killmonger, and Deathlock. This little package works so well together within itself, but it also complements the rest of the deck, providing really good utility and flexibility in your plays. I think the strength of this deck is you always find you have something to do. Whether you are building up combos in your own hand, getting ready for a Destroy play, whether you are building up your hand size for big Devil Dino plays later on in the game, or you're trying to disrupt what your opponent's doing with Killmonger, there's so much versatility in how you can play out this deck. All the different decisions you can make throughout the plays. And I think in Pool 2, that is super important to not only counter what your opponent's doing, but have really strong plays on your end you can make too. Let's go ahead and jump in now and take a look at the key cards in this deck. All right, I'm going to blast through some of these cards because we've all seen them and we know a lot of these cards already. First up, we have Agent 13. Incredible card in hand size decks, works great with the Collector for sure. Nova is one of those key cards in the Destroy package. Awesome card, buffs to your board, and has really good interplay with Killmonger as well, when you can decide when you want to blow him up while potentially countering your opponent's board at the same time. So I have Angela in my deck for a little bit of consistent power push on turn 2, but I don't think she's all that vital. If you're finding that you're versing a lot of ongoing decks, I'd try out Enchantress. I think she can be a really strong replacement for Angela. So we then have Bucky Barnes. He's a great card in Pool 2 and sees a lot of play in Pool 3 Destroy decks as well. He's a great target for things like Carnage and Deathlock and provides a surprising amount of power on the board. So Collector is going to benefit from all of the card draw you're doing in this deck, works particularly well with Moon Girl, and he's just a staple in kind of hand-sized decks as well. Cable, great card to buff Collector, but also disrupt your opponent in stealing a card from their deck. Carnage actually has a ton of versatility in this game. Because we have cards that he can eat quite easily, like Bucky Barnes, like Nova, potentially even Agent 13, he has a lot of versatility in this deck and how you play it out, and can also counter some things that your opponents might be playing, like potentially Hobgoblin, or cards which are going to be detrimental on your end. Sentinel provides a little bit of consistency in your curves because you get another one to play every time you play it. Great synergy with Collector, and just a solid card in this deck. Killmonger, a great way to disrupt your opponent's board while also boosting your own if you've got Nova out on the board. He kind of does a lot of things, and if played late, he can be incredible in terms of the counter plays you make against your opponent. Sometimes it's worth just holding him in your hand and seeing how disruptive you can be late on in the game. Deathlock comes in with a solid 5 power and works incredibly well, particularly with Bucky Barnes. If you play Bucky on turn 2 and Deathlock on turn 3, you end up with 11 power on the board going into turn 4. He also works really well to counter negative things on your board that you might want to destroy and clean up, offering a bit more board space there as well. Moon Girl coming in at 4 drop. She actually has some incredible targets in this deck to duplicate. Obviously, Devil Dino is a great duplication target for Moon Girl, but you also have things like Nova and Bucky Barnes, which you can duplicate and play out on the final turns of the game, which can be really strong pushes in their own right. Rounding out the deck, we have Devil Dino, and he is just an incredible win condition in this deck. He provides so much power if you've got a full hand of cards, and really benefits from all the card draw that you're going to be doing with this deck as well. There's only a couple of ways to counter Devil Dino, but he's also not the only win condition in this deck, which makes this deck particularly strong. So there we have it, the Dino Destroy deck. I'm excited to show you this deck in action. So let's jump into some games and see how we go. I'm super excited to try out this deck. I think the TVA, okay, interesting. I'm super excited to try out this deck because it's like, it pulls out the best parts of Dino, pulls out the best parts of Destroy, puts them together. I think this deck has some huge potential. Lots of people don't expect it, so it's always good to surprise your opponent. We're also going to be playing these games at infinite rank, which is a little crazy. But so we did get Wasp. These games are at infinite rank, so it can be a little bit crazy. But I think we can do quite well, actually, to be completely honest. Do we play Bucky over here? We can also just start doing other things as well, which could be quite nice because we get a deathlock over here as well. We got options this game with TVA. We have no way to flip TVA, so unless they do, we don't. Demon's a strong play, no doubt. Demon's a strong play, but I think this is really strong for us. And we can just surprise on turn 4. We can drop we could potentially drop 3 cards here, which could be huge. So I think I like this. I think I just like holding the Wasp, seeing what we're going to get. Okay, so he's going to have a strong play somewhere. I don't think he's going to come over the top of 11 in middle. Wait, this isn't the best way to do it. It's just to Carnage and then this. We can get 3 cards over there in Nidavellir. I think he thinks he's got that wrapped up, right? Yeah, he has to win another location. Wait, I need to think this through a little bit more. So I actually think the best play here is to do this. Because we go to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we go to 21 here. He can only play 1 card and he has to win another location. So I think we've won this one. He's going to compete for this. I think this is the way we're going to play it out. TVA is an interesting location with this for sure, but I think we're able to manage the board a bit well, think it through. We could have potentially still won on the TVA, but this is like, I feel like the percentages with this one's way stronger. We would have won on the TVA because would we have won on the TVA? Turn order, us first. No, the Hobgoblins still would have come across. We might have still had enough power, but I think this is just a safer play because he had to win another location. So, yeah, sneaking ones out at infinite rank. This is awesome. Getting into another one with the Dino Destroy deck. Infinite rank, potentially versing full collections in pool 3. Not going to be easy games, but I don't know. This deck's super fun to play, but it's also it's got really good win conditions. Kicking off with Fisk Tower, I don't think that's too bad for us. And then we roll into Bar Sinister, so we don't have an amazing way to take advantage of Bar Sinister in this deck. Devil Dino is probably the highest power play we could make there. No Collector in hand. No way to destroy cards, but I think that's okay. I think we go ahead and get Bucky down here. I don't hate it. So he might be playing a destroy deck himself. It's not an awkward turn. It's not too awkward of a turn. But there's no straightforward play line, I don't think, here. We have Cable. We could Sentinel. Which is okay. It's just okay, I think. Okay, so going to be a ton of Patriots here. Which is going to be... which can be quite strong for him. So he's not going to be destroying any of that over there. I think in middle we can have an easy beat. We did also draw the Killmonger for later on in the game. Hold on, come back. Killmonger later on in the game is an interesting one for sure. We don't have any way to take advantage of this Bucky, which is kind of awkward. And we have no great targets yet for Moon Girl. So I'm thinking this could be a play. We could also potentially... I like getting rid of a card from their deck. This puts us back up to 6. We still draw. I think this is okay. Okay, so we're gonna get tons of value out of our Killmonger later on in the game. So actually, Killmonger in mid on the final turn actually wins it. So we only really need to figure out how to win one additional location here. So we destroy these two. We can do this as well. And an Onslaught. We pulled Onslaught from them. So I think at this rate, we're going to be looking to win here, maybe? It's going to be awkward if this pulls Killmonger, because we're setting things up to play to win with Killmonger. But they're gonna Onslaught this, I assume. They're going to probably Blue Marvel Onslaught. We'll see. Is it Blue Marvel? Yep. And then we know they've got Onslaught as well. At least well, no, we took Onslaught with Cable, so they're never going to get that play. I keep forgetting about that. It's not just it's a steal. So we actually steal Onslaught here. So I think we actually clean this up. Just not Killmonger. Okay, anything but Killmonger there was great. And they get Shocker, so Shocker gives them a ton of power over there. But we definitely make this play with Killmonger, because I think this is just going to clean up middle. And then we really only need one Killmonger. But I think Killmonger is still going to be the highest power here. So what does Killmonger kill for us? Absolutely nothing, which is great. This gives us an extra 2 here. I don't think we're beating them over here, which is okay. We won't be beating them over here. I'm not too sure what they're going to play here. Killmonger will definitely win us middle. How do we win another location here? That's the max amount of power we could have got. Nah, this is awkward. Wow. So we actually are going to wipe their Misty Knight. Oh my goodness. I mean, I could have played Agent 13 out there. It didn't really matter because we were losing left lane, but we absolutely wipe it with the Killmonger late on in the game. That worked out so well. I mean, them playing Misty Knight there was huge for us. That was so good. That was so good. Oh, I'm happy with that. Nice. I'm having lots of fun with this one. We're actually getting a ton of wins. Even versing all these pool 3 decks, we're getting tons of wins, which is awesome to see. What we got here? Okay, so kicking off with Kunlun and Bifrost. It's not bad. We have our Destroy combo in hand. And we have some awesome turns later on, potentially with Collector Moongirl. I'd love to get Dino in here. I'd love to see Dino come to the party here. Okay, so Carnage gets hit, which definitely isn't ideal here. Carnage getting hit by Iceman. We can do this. I don't hate this at all. Next turn we can potentially look to Moongirl, depending. Like, I think if we draw Dino, we Moongirl. If we don't, Attilan shuffles our cards into our deck, so that's fine. That's fine. Do we want to Do you want a Killmonger here? You want a Nova Killmonger? It's a play. Guess we've got Nova Killmonger or we've got Collector Sentinel. I did forget about Attilan. But I think that's okay. I think maybe we want to wait and see if they play out any other 1-drops. I mean, this is like a waiting play. We just kind of wait. Let's go ahead and do this. I don't mind this. Mega Red. This could be a tough one if they have the full Omega Red combo with Onslaught at the end. Onslaught Iron Man. Gonna be a tough one. We might have to start splitting up our power.
Opponent snapped.
I'm gonna go with this. We start to put a bit of pressure on their lane over there. They're gonna Nightcrawler there, so not awful for us. Pull out JJ. Okay, JJ from their deck. Interesting. Okay, so we have Devil Dino to compete at this location, which I do like. I like this because I think they're going to Onslaught. If they Onslaught, they push a lot of power to other locations, potentially, with Omega Red. But I think Devil Dino... We're not going to have a ton of power on Devil Dino. That's the thing. It's not an easy turn, this one, because we'll get +6. So we only get a 9 on Dino, which actually probably is actually the worst play. I think this is going to be a stronger play. And I've got to sequence that right. So I think we're trying to shut them down in this lane because they could go for the Onslaught play, which I think is their only play. Let's go ahead and try and shut it down with this. See how we go. So it actually didn't move their Nightcrawler, so I think this is going to be an Onslaught. I have a feeling. We get a big boost from Nova across the board, which is really nice. And if this is the Onslaught, okay. So we actually take the win here with the other 2 locations. Kind of like how we figured it out. Worked out well for us. That was awesome. It's like kind of 3 wins in a row with this Dino deck. It's kind of insane. So that's it. The Dino Destroy deck. Such a fun deck. Definitely underutilized at the moment and underplayed, but I think this is a super, super strong and consistent deck. Even at infinite rank with full collections in pool 3, this deck was incredibly successful. Only a very small data pool. I played 4 games to get the footage for this video and won 3 of them. Quite easily, actually. There were some turns that we had to figure out, but it gives you the flexibility and versatility in the deck to do lots of different things. The biggest thing for this deck for me is that it has multiple win conditions. You can win through the destroy mechanic with Bucky and Deathlock and Carnage. You can have buffs to your board with Nova as well. You also have the ability to duplicate cards with Moonga, which is unreal. And then you also have that big body on the board coming down, big power push in Devil Dino. There's tons of ways that you can win games, tons of ways you can shut down your opponent, as you saw in some of the footage with Killmonger as well. This deck's super versatile and incredibly fun to play. I'd recommend checking it out. Angela sometimes feels a little bit clunky to play on 2 because you really want to be playing Bucky or Collector on 2 and pushing forward with the strengths of the deck. Subbing in Enchantress in that spot can help you counter other decks but free up that turn 2 play to make sure you're doing exactly what you want to be doing with this deck. Overall, this deck was absolutely insane. Definitely check out this deck. Try it out. See how it goes for you. Let me know in the comments how successful it is or tweaks that you'd make as well. Another really cool thing about this deck is because it kind of runs 2 archetypes, one being Destroy and one being Hand Size, If you don't have all the cards in the deck and you're still pushing through pool 2, you can definitely sub in to make one archetype a little bit stronger. Say you haven't unlocked Bucky yet from pool 2. What you can do is you can take out Bucky Barnes and Deathlock from this deck and potentially lean into the hand size a little bit more. You can play cards like White Queen and maybe Enchantress in there, ways to strengthen that side of the deck. But you can also keep some of the other components of Destroy. A little Destroy package like Nova, Carnage, and Killmonger can provide really strong players on your board in terms of buffing it up, but also can be really disruptive in terms of 1-drops being killed on your opponent's board as well. I think this deck, or at least a version of it, is incredibly attainable for all players moving through Pool 2. I'm so impressed with the success of this deck and how strong it feels to play. It feels like you just have really good turns almost all the time. There's always something to do, whether you've got Destroy cards in hand, whether you're trying to build up for a Devil Dino play or you're trying to boost up the Collector. There's always something to do and it feels really, really strong in that sense. Try it out. Let me know how you go in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Tweaks that you're making or things that you find even stronger. Let me know all about it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, all that good stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you then.